Hey everybody, not my regular sketch card session yet, but I decided I'm going to do this big 11 by 17 piece. Thought I'd pop on and see what was going on with everybody and hang out for a few minutes and try to do some penciling on this thing. Going to share it over with the page so everybody can see it, and thought we'd hang out for a few and go from there. Cool deal. Now, this is Frank Frazetta's, well, based on Frank Frazetta's massive Death Dealer piece, his Orc Wars stuff, and his Conan pieces. I thought I'd draw one. This is a nice big 11 by 17 piece. I haven't drawn in the, oh, let me autofocus here. Gotta let my camera catch up. I moved in on it, so now it's gonna jam up on me. But it'll catch up in just a second. Let's see. I hope. Okay. I guess not. Anyway, hopefully it'll pick up here in a sec. I may have to restart. There it goes. Cool. I was worried for a second. That's what I get for doing this thing live. Anyway, thought I was going to mess up, but it didn't. So we're going to keep going on this. I'm going to get it going, and this is a really high-end sensitive camera, so I tend to do that a lot. Sorry about that. I tend to get it out of focus because of the fact that I move around too much. But when I raised it, it picked up. So anyway, with that recovered, now we've got that going on. Just proves I'm live. So this is my incarnation of the character. I thought I would do a fun piece with it. And like I said, it's not very ornate right now, but it will be when I get into the details and all that. I thought I would just hang out and kind of buff this out a little bit and see how it goes. But yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces. I love Frazetta's stuff. You know, I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately, before he passed away, but would have loved to. His Conan stuff was a great inspiration to me, and from what I understand, it was a big push to John Buscema as well when he did the Conan stuff, the Savage Sword, and he actually influenced the look of his Conan for Marvel off of the Conan stuff that was from Frazetta's paintings. So I found that really cool. Now I kind of split this mask. I always have for some reason. I just think it looks better when you split it, but that's a personal opinion. So whatever works. But I like the look of it. It has a little bit stronger forged look rather than plate metal, which plate armor was a pain in the butt. And that's the reason they started weld forging back when they made armor. Some people may know that, some people may not. That's a big thing. Let's see here. Trying to get in these little details, because I like these ornate rings like this. It's just, like I said, it's just a little bit of detailing that's in some of them and not in all of them. And these little notches here, these raised bumps, are not just for ornamental use, but they are actually for headbutting. Everything about this guy is a vicious weapon. And I really dig the concept of the character. He's freaking just vicious. Phenomenal stuff. And every time I see him, I don't like the ones on horseback as much as I do the standing stuff, because it's just, I don't know, it's more menacing and you get more detail with them rather than the guys that are more the Reaper style on the horseback, because he would always go abstract with them and go very dark and gloomy with them. And I know it was a mood thing because he was primarily a painter, but for me as a comic artist, I like to show all of the detail possible, and that allows me to do that when it's a standing figure, because whenever you draw the one on the horse, you habitually go to those blacks, and I don't know about you guys, but it just doesn't hold the same effect if you go really cartoony with it. So I like to get down serious on this one because this dude is just phenomenal. It's a great character, really, really great character. And he always draws them on a foothill. I'll see if I can move this slow so that I don't jack the camera up again, so you guys can get a look at how this thing is. I got to turn it here because my light stands like right there, but it goes all the way down to the feet. So yeah, I moved a little faster at the end, but give it a second, it will catch up. I think Facebook's slowing down their bandwidth for lives as well because of the fact that it's just not holding up quite as well since the new year. Maybe they've made an adjustment, or maybe they're making adjustments. I don't know. I'm not privy to that, so I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to take a little bit of time and go over this one because I really wanted to do this piece for a while, but I haven't had time in my schedule until today, which I have just a little bit of time. And then I'm going to go in and do another session this afternoon, of course, on another card, which you guys are going to get a good one on that because I haven't decided which one I'm going to go with yet, but it's either going to be Ben Grimm or it's going to be Galactus, and I think I'm going to do the Galactus card. Now I'm trying to make this just a little bit edgy and a little bit raw, and I'm going with a sketchy look to it because these horns aren't perfect and they're not supposed to be, and I'm trying to thicken them up in spots to give them a little texture. It's not over fortification of the line. It's just I want to give them a little bit of a weight from one side, you know, kind of thing. And the way they're going off right now, it looks like they're going to hold up. Going to put in this chest piece. Now see, he's got bare chest right here, and he's got this tunic thing that comes down across here like this. It doesn't go up into up on his shoulders very high. It goes down here, and then you see that strap go right across here for the shoulder pad to the chest plate, which I'm not going to detail out all of the chest plate right now because I want to go in and relay those pieces to get all the ornate details that we have on them, like you know, the crest of the bird and all that, and get this going. It's just the preliminary layouts for this because I got to draw in all the buckles and all that, but I just wanted to get this started in this session. I mean, it's going to take a time or two to get it done, but I thought, you know, whatever works. I thought it would be a cool piece to show off with you guys and hang a little bit, see how everybody's doing today. And to get over my my issue with Marvel today, they released it was Black Bolt number 9 today is what they released. And I tell you what, man, I mean, they wonder why they're losing sales. I'm not going to go on a total tangent here, but they wonder why they're losing sales, but yet they allow so much of the bad art out there to go through. And I'm not picking on Christopher Ward at all. You know, I wouldn't pick on a fellow artist under normal circumstances at all, because I don't want, you know, people going behind me and trying to perfect my work either. But come on, man. I mean, you know for a fact that that's not professional level. If you look at those pages of Black Bolt, it's just horrible. And I mean, literally just god-awful. It's very abstract and very color-driven, color-dependent, beautiful, beautiful colors beautiful color work. But when you get into the actual artwork, it's broken lines, very tiny stuff, not detailed out at all. And then it just kind of goes into this graffiti art style. And it's very sad. I mean, maybe I'm missing the bandwagon here with the, the modern artist movement of comics, but I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't, it looks like somebody did it as a filler rather than an actual project. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not normally one to pick on stuff like that. It's just, dang. That is the most disappointing thing that I've seen in a long time for a comic book piece. And like I said, I don't normally go after people because, and I'm still not. I'm still a fan of Chris's. It's just that, because I loved his Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. It's just not, I'm not a fan of that Black Bolt piece at all. I've never seen anything like that, and it's just completely out of the water for Marvel standards. I mean, I'm just like, what happened? I mean, and I would love to work for Marvel. Like I said numerous times, they won't ever hire me because of the fact that I'm on the outside and I don't have an in. They've talked about working with me numerous times, but yet it never pans out. It always seems to get pushed back or pushed off or whatever. And, I'm not knocking it. It is what it is. But on the same token, though, I'm a hardcore fan for Marvel, and that book just does not look like Marvel standard stuff at all. And it's just sad. It really is. It's just sad. But, and if Marvel blacklists me because of that, because of me speaking my mind as a fan, I'm doing independent comics. It really doesn't matter. But I would wish and hope that they wouldn't do that. But I was going to submit a while back, and then they basically told me not to, because they don't accept any outside sources. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But, it's just I don't know. I'm just not being fickle about it. It just hit me weird. That particular book just looks god awful to me. You guys can go online and check it out. You can go on Marvel's platform and check it out and do the preview. If you Google it, it'll bring up the site right on the top, and you guys can check out the sample pages there. I mean, you might disagree, I don't know, but for me, I just think Marvel's lost it. They've lost complete control of what they were doing. Very strange stuff coming out of there. Very strange. Very strange. Like I said, I'm going to go outline this because I don't want to go and put a bunch of detail in this when I'm just going to change it anyway. But I'll go ahead and add it on so that we can see the ridges here. Because it kind of looks like a Muppet or a Disney cartoon or something with a little button nose, the eyes right here, and like a mustache or something. I don't want that to happen because that's supposed to be the crest and whatnot, and it's very ornate in here, and I just don't want to mess with that. I just got the fundamental shapes. So, not going to mess with that too much because I don't want to mess around with that. But thought this would be a nice, cool little piece to tinker around with a bit. Show you guys something a little more finished than my cards. And do this side. Dink. There we go. Cool. Now, one of the things I like to do with when I draw armor is I like to block everything out, and I'll make a bunch of boxes right on the piece. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I prefer to get the look and get those edges on there. But like I said, I'm not going to go full out. because I want to do those details. But there's a little weird curve right there where it's like etched out right here on the top. And I won't go into any of that any further. Drawing this strap here, put down the shoulder, shield. The shoulder guard looks neat. It's really impressive the way these are put in here together. Oh, I forgot to do that side, didn't I? Whoops. Because that's the bottom edge there. What am I using for the fine lines? How do you mean, Josh? I appreciate it, really. I appreciate you coming on. Yeah, let me know about your question. What do you mean, what am I using for the fine lines? Because I'm using, I use the same pencil. It's just I'm using a 0.5 Pentel graphic gear. These graph gears are awesome, man. These graph gears are awesome pencils. I tend to do more of a cartoonier style, so I use heavier weights anyway, and I'm heavy-handed with my pencils, so I tend to do a lot of this stuff just by directional line weight and build up. So, but I even have a Japanese point. It's actually a 0.2 millimeter, but I actually have a what's called a Japanese 1, which is a 1 point. It's a 0.1 millimeter. It's freaking small. So I do whatever I need to do. I've got multiple tools over here. I've got about 4 or 5 different versions of this. And these are pretty cheap. They're pretty affordable. They're like, I don't know, they're like $10 a piece, something like that. They were $8 when I bought mine, but they just went up. Yeah, you bet, man. I'm glad you're liking the stuff. I appreciate it. Go in here and work on this tunic a little bit, because he's got this, like I said, the tunic up here, and he's got this tunic that runs down underneath his armor, and it's basically just for padding, for effect. And of course, he's got the massive skull belt right here, which I may or may not get to right now. I hope to. And I've started detailing out a little bit heavier in the last couple of things that I've done, the last couple of books that I've done. It gets more detailed, and I started putting in, the cross hatching and things like that, which I'm not normally one to do, and I still don't do it heavy on flesh, but armor and clothing and things like that, I've started to do more finishing touches on them because of the fact that things are coming out a little bit more abstract in the mainstream right now, and it's aggravating the crap out of me for one thing, and that's technical term. So but I like to build this stuff up because of the fact that I want it to look as organic as possible. See, like that armor there. And since I'm inking this myself, I can get a little crazy with it. So, but anyway, There we go. It is starting to come up. And I couldn't tell what kind of horns these were whenever I was making this, but I always try to figure out what animal it comes from when I see stuff like this, so that I can go reference it to see the texturing and coloring and stuff on it. That I have no idea what that. I have no idea what that's supposed to come from. I don't know if they're too small for like ox horns, or I mean they came off some kind of livestock of a possible cattle, or maybe even an ox, a small ox or a small ram maybe. But normally rams have the coil texture. They go across where they've got that section, and then they got the growth rings across, and that's what makes that effect. And cattle don't do that, but they grow smooth. If you ever look at deer or elk, they do the same thing. They have these notches, and then they have these little round bumps down here where it comes out, and those are growth rings where new tines are growing on, and they stunt as they grow. They're either going to grow into tines, or they're going to make it out to the end, and then they actually grow out. But it depends on the animal. But in this particular case, though, I have no idea what that was, and I'm not so so stuck on it or whatever that I'm going to go ask the Frazetta Foundation or anything goofy like that. What is that on his head? I gotta know. No, 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 no. They got way too much to be doing without messing with me. But yeah, I'm just going to keep detailing on this just a little as we go down here and bring all that up. So, going to add in a little bit of a shade right there. Not much, just enough to raise it just a little. A lot of people don't like to do that because then they say, well, now you put those lines in there and it doesn't look the same. Relax. Relax. I'm not going to put these weight fins on the back here because in the helmet, there's a design that goes behind the spike. It's actually a side panel that goes down on either side and it goes up into it. But in this example, though, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Going to build up that arm a little bit. Like I said, I don't like working too much on flesh because then it starts to make it look odd. It tends to start to shape things out, and I don't want to do every little fiber in there. That just looks a little grotesque and overworked to me, but that's just not my style. However, I like to do things like this on these. There's things like this that you'll come in and you'll see, little stuff like that. And then what you do is you go on one side of it and you make it raised like that, and then instant scar, And if you want to do another one, let's say on this side, we go in like that, come in with a break across here, and come in, like this. And we'll slash it down like that a little bit, and then we'll put in another one that kind of zigzags like this. Like that, and then go put in a little detail to show where the skin grew back together and it's pulled tight from the scar. There you go. There's another one. Boom. Done. I find it amusing. So anyway, I'm going to go back up here and work on this helmet a little more. Put in a couple little scratches. Now these are going to be finite scratches because of the fact I want it to look a little war-torn and make him look a little more aggressive, and use some of my underlaying layouts, the layout lines, as detailing. Going to darken this up just a little. Kind of close that in to show the shadow ridge. And I always thought that was funny too, because in the reference sketch that I used, or the reference from the sculpture, the funny thing was is that there was the eye tilted up on one side just a little more than the other. And I was like, hey, I'm leaving it. It works. I don't know if that was an artist mistake or if Frank actually did that or not, you know, in the original piece. So I found that very cool. I was just like, yeah, I got to do that. And like I said, this is just a regular tunic, and then his classic armored belt. Now I didn't draw in the axe in this one because I didn't want to put that in right away because I didn't want to tilt it this direction. I'm waiting to see if I'm going to make this into a triple piece or not, into a more panoramic type of thing where I go into multiple pieces with it, or if I leave it alone. You know, if I haven't decided if I'm going to make it a set yet or not. I was going to do that for a buddy of mine once, and we were going to do an art trade, but he decided to sell the piece instead. So I was like, whatever, because he does sculptures and paintings and things like that. And I was like, dude, I got to have a piece of your work, man. But then he went off and did his own thing. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Which I don't get, you know, I don't get hurt about that. I don't even get upset about it. I mean, I did a little because I'd already started the work, but I moved on and I ended up selling those pieces. And make sure I'm still on camera here. Hey, Rusty. I see some more people have popped on. Ray Merrick made it, man. That's awesome. I appreciate it. You guys are busy with those comics, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you took time to come on because it's a cool piece. It really is. And yeah, Josh, to answer your question, man, yeah, I've seen them. I've never personally used them because I don't like them because they break. But they have leads that you can order from, you know, Italy has a couple of good services that provide those. You can order those point ones, and they even have a point. It's like a surgical needle. It's just barely there, man. I mean, it's like a hair thick. They have a point a half. It's a 0.005, which I won't even bother because I snap the lids off and they're pointless to use. Like I said, a lot of companies use them, but I don't, and they're really expensive because they're just as much as a 3 or, you know, they're just as much as a 3 or a 5, and I can get just as much out of that. out of a 3 as I can anything else. So when I do fine line work, so I don't bother. But yeah, some people like them. I've got a friend that likes to use nothing but the 2s and 3s, and that's all he will use. And I'm not necessarily one for that. I mean, I like to get 2s and 3s, and I use them for small stuff. I use 1s for microscopic background stuff. If I'm doing something massive and I got to do something finite, I'll use them for that. But I don't like using them because they tend to take away from the detail, and they're really, really complex to use, and they slow me down. But I do have them. I do have them. I have the 2 and I have the 1. But I think I've only used that 1 maybe 3 times since I got it. So like I said, you know, it was worth an honorable mention, but realistically, a 3 is about as small as you want to go for comics, unless you're doing something specific, because it's a pain in the butt and it's very time consuming. Because if you're not gentle with those leads, you'll snap them. And believe me, they're very expensive when you get into that tiny lead and start burning through it. And especially if you've got a deadline going on. And the store that you get them from is closed because it's a Sunday afternoon when you run out of lead. Been there, done that. That's why I order by the case now, and I keep it in stock in the shop. Keep it right here in the office, so I don't have to worry about that. Just trying to keep my fingers off the artwork here, if you can call it that. Looks pretty messy right now. Little hairy. Yeah, I do sell it. Yeah, I do sell it. Depends on what you want, man. Normally the pencil piece like this, 11 by 17. If it's a pencil piece, I sell them for $50. Then if you want it inked, another $10 for 60, and then I move them up from there. You can private message me for whatever you want to do if you want to look into something. But it varies depending on what I have to do and what it goes on. But yes, I do sell pieces. But I understand, though, I only sell one-offs. I don't sell prints. The sketchbook that I'm doing with the cards, it's going to be a unique thing. It's an instructional and fan piece. I'm going to give my insights on how I did the cards and whatnot, and reflect on the videos and stuff. But yeah, if you want an original piece, yes, I do those. I do original commissions. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And they normally go a lot faster than this, but I'm taking my time with this one because I'm having fun with it, for one. And for two, I'm talking on cam. So that makes a big difference. But yeah. Getting a little bit of this edging in here. And like I said, these will be more detailed and whatnot whenever I get underway with the actual detailing of the work, because this is just more of an outline type of thing to hang out and say hi to everybody and see what's going on. But yeah, it works. It works. It's coming along swimmingly. So let me, you know what I will do? I'll do a little bit of this. Let's see about this belt here. I'm going to go in here and sketch some of this in real quick, and we'll see about getting some of that on there. Yeah, that looks about right. Draw an edge there. Boom, done deal. Now we have this really cool, creepy skull up in here. Bear with me just a second. I'm checking my reference of the statue so that we know exactly what's going on. Excuse me, clearing my throat there. It's not near as grimacing as I thought it was. It's just more prominent is all. It's just like there. I really dig these horns coming out of it. They come down here out of the jaw like this. I think it's supposed to be reminiscent of the helmet more than an actual individual skull, you know, like a buckle kind of design. Because it comes out like that. And then it goes down here, put in that hard edge. And then it's got these crazy teeth, kind of like a Punisher thing. Maybe that was an influence. Frazetta's work to Wolfman and the guys that did the Punisher, not the other way around, by the way. Just want to be clear about that. Frazetta came first. I don't want somebody to give me flack about it later. Man, you don't know. So, I've had that happen. Yeah, I do. To answer your question, Josh, yes, I do. Have you done many horror or macabre type pieces? Yes, I do horror all the time. I'm a huge horror fan. Love that stuff. I did. I did a few small things in the card series, but I did them mostly for fun. And I made Freddy Krueger with a cross, you know, with his eyes crossed, which actually bugged a lot of people after the fact. I was like, "What? You're offended? What?" But yeah, it was a fun piece, and I'm gonna map this out real quick. So if I stop talking, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just buffing this out. Trying to get remotely decent spacing here. There we go. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I have done many horror pieces. I'm working on one right now, matter of fact, for Night of the Living Dead. I'm working on a comic for that I'm going to be publishing. Called Night of the Living Dead Relapse. Now I'll have to erase that a bit because I don't like the way it looks. So I'm going to cut in here and get that fixed. I don't like the way that came out, so go back in here and reset the lines. Let's see. I'll pop in a middle one here, and then I'll do one on the other side. There we go. That works. Cool. Now I'll go in and pop in that Skull. I know I'm doing a no-no here, but the thing is I'm inking it myself, so I will go ahead and put in those blacks. All the professional inkers that I know are cringing every time I sit down to draw because I constantly do that. And I know it's a bad habit, but I've gotten into it to where I go in and clean it up and erase it anyway, or blue line the whole piece. And when I'm inking, I like to turn this into a blue line when it's finished. For one, so I don't damage the entire thing, and two, just to make it, you know, different, more vibrant, and clean, so I don't get all these little hash lines and all that mess that I got going on in here. Going to put in all the little details, nooks and crannies with nicks and slashes. And matter of fact, right here, I'm gonna put in a scar right across his cheek and up here across his forehead, like he got hit, ding. And I'll put in a little blade nick right there. Make it go across like you got hit across the stomach. There you go. Very cool. Put in all these little crazy details on this thing. If you hear the crumpling here, I'm turning my blotter. It's just another sheet of paper turned, but still. I like to use it as a pad and a blotter. Put in this little underline here. Just kind of making things pop a little bit. Work back on this tunic. I get asked about this stuff a lot if I'll do commissions and whatnot, because I don't do a lot of shows because of the fact that I'm so busy doing little projects. I just don't get into, you know, I'm not a convention guy. I mean, I have nothing against them. It's just I don't have a lot of time to go. So I'm going to start working down here. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Start working on this orc head down here, or, you know, whatever he's going to be. I haven't really decided yet. But Whenever I draw this hair kind of like this, I like to think that it's maybe, matted from being either, unhygienic or being bloody, even, especially in this situation, or, something like that. And think about it like that from the front of his hand as it's clutched. Uh, excuse me. And then from the back in here, where his hand actually comes in, go ahead and flesh in those fingers a little bit so we can see the reference of where that's at. Get those knuckles. I like to do the blood and stuff like that to make it look like it matted, or is, like put in a dark spot right here and have it come out this way, like it's been cut off or pulled out or matted up or whatever. Just tends to make it look a little more realistic, I mean, like you can really see this guy anywhere, but it just doesn't get messed up, often enough in a lot of these pieces. And that was one thing that Frazetta actually did. He would go in and put out, like just like stray hairs out of place and things like that, especially in his Conan pieces. I loved those paintings because he would go in and just put crazy stuff in there, man. I mean, just crazy stuff. For one, his anatomy was insane, but then on top of that, you had all these little details, and it was just, like patches of whiskers like this. I'll go down here like this, and it was like sporadic hair growth kind of thing, not a full beard, just like Johnny Depp style, like in Pirates of the Caribbean where it's patchy, and just drawing little sprigs like that, and it's just hair. It's crazy stuff. Hey, Mike, thanks for popping in, man. Mr. Mike Phelan. That dude right there is one of my buddies from way back. I've known that guy for 25, maybe even, oh, yeah, about 25 years. Yeah, crazy. Good thing we're not getting old or anything, though. How about? So, I can talk smack, though. I'm only 41. I'm not old by any stretch, especially today's means. It's crazy. I read an interesting article, not to go too deep into that, but I read an interesting article about 2 3 days before Christmas that they were saying now that the first person to break 1,000 years old will be in our generation, is alive today due to medical advances and due to modern genetics. I was like, put me on the list for 200 or 300, but I'm not sure about living 1,000 years. That's a long time. It's a long time. Especially when the human body isn't designed for that. You know, I can just see it. Some knucklehead. I'll live to be 1,000. I'm cool with it. Gonna try to make these lips on this guy kind of thick, Hulk-esque. I don't want to screw around and make him too pretty. We'll round out that nose. Like that. Put down this cheekbone here, make it go into that eyelid, and just draw it like that. Let's see. Yeah, that looks all right. And to make things balance out right here, kind of put it like that, make the hair match up. And because it's kind of pulled tight, it's going to stretch up a little bit. Let's see how it looks. Hopefully I won't blur the camera. Yeah, cool. That works for me. I'm drawing this ear here. Drawing the neck for the severed head. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. You know the details on this. Whenever you get into it, if you go and look for something like this to where somebody has a severed head kind of thing, it's gross because it's more of with a battle axe, it's more of a smashing through the flesh rather than a cutting motion. So it's smooth. Oh, no, 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 no. A battle axe has to like rip through it with weight. I mean, the edge cuts into the break of the skin, but then the rest of it is like slack. No. Pass. Pass, 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 pass. And I've got a very happy, healthy martial arts background, and I love working with swords. But I tell you what, man, that's just no, no, no. Battle axe cutting, no, 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 no. I think I'll pass. Matter of fact, I'm sure of it. No, no. Make those eyebrows look all messed up. Do a little sinking of the eyes here. That kind of thing. Go that way. See a little bit of the fang going on. Larger canines poking out there. I think we'll call that good and move along a little bit. Some of this other armor. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a break from this one because of the fact that I got to get back to the page work before editors start biting down on me. Where the heck are my pages? Of course, I do most of my own editing. Don't do that. Get a good editor. I self-edit what I'm saying, and then I have one of my editors look over my stuff because I don't like to go and be one of those guys that just does everything and then say it's okay. And it's always good to have a second pair of eyes to be professional about stuff like that, you know. So if you're into comics, do yourself the due diligence and get yourself an editor. Don't just leave yourself, you know, out there running crazy, because it will go nuts on you real quick. And you don't want a bunch of stuff to where you show up, you know, like out of the blue and just be, hey man, my stuff's awesome, and then it sucks and you don't realize it because you didn't edit. You know what I mean? So be sure and don't do that. Because whenever I lay out pages, what I like to do is I go in and self-edit, but I ask one of my team to check my pages out so that I don't go off crazy. I'm going to kind of sketch this in here a little bit. It's a kneecap. Not going to go hardcore with it. Going to shadow it out, soften it up, make it look a little more bone-esque rather than, hey, there's a hashtag. But I'm going to flesh that out just a little. Like I said, cut that edge and soften it up. Okay, got that right on the bottom of that hairline there. That'll look cool. Nice shadow there. I will definitely clean that knee up. It's going to be behind the head, so we're looking up this way. So I want to make sure that it stays clean, but yep. Get my fine line going so I don't scribble this up because I'm getting a little sketchy here and I don't like to do that. Anyway. Build up those thigh muscles real quick. And I do the Kirby squiggle knees, unfortunately. I have this diamond shape thing that I do for knees to bring them out. I've just always done that for some reason. For some weird reason, I like to draw knees like this. I'll go in and I'll draw out the oval where it's supposed to be, but what I do is I make this diamond shape like that for a kneecap, and then put in the squiggles like that. For some reason I do it that way, and my daughter says they look like a spider, but that's the way I've always done knees, because I make sure to put in both sides of the kneecap that way. That's the reason I do that. Some people go back and, you know, be like, what? But he's coming along all right. I think he's coming out okay. I'm gonna get a little gross with it here, because on this this head, I'm just gonna like that, and then a little round splatter like it's fresh kill. Make it really gross. And then down on the stonework, I'm going to put in something really cool here. Just put in a little bit of a bloody runoff. Like that. Just thought that might look cool. Yes, I do these. I do all of them and post them over to my channel under my name, Brad Linder. Julian, you can go over there and find it on. You can YouTube me. You can go search on YouTube for that under my name, and you'll see them. I've got like 60 or 70 of these up, but I've got over 200. Yesterday was my 265th sketch card session, live sketch card session, and I've got to post them over to YouTube. I get a couple of thousand views here and there from it, but yeah, I've been slacking off due to the fact that Facebook's just been more responsive lately, and I'm waiting for the site revamp that goes up on the 15th, January 15th, to allow that to post through my blog. So that's the reason I haven't posted a lot of updates on there. But I'm doing something like, I don't know what I've got on the list, but I've got like 30 videos going in today on my YouTube. And you guys can check my videos under the video tab here and see what I've got as well. So, but they go to both places. Yes, I do have a channel for this, and I do that work for promotion. Yes. Yep. So when the sketchbook goes live, they will all be, I put a smudge on here, I'm going to get it off. When the sketchbook goes live, they will be showing up all over there. I have lots and lots of stuff. And finally, the website's going to be up to where you guys can see these as they go live through my blog as well. So it's going to be still done on Facebook, still done on YouTube, on lives. And I'm going to keep it going as long as you guys keep coming to visit me. So, you know, as long as you do, we're cool. I'm folding this over to get it out of the way here. But, yeah. Also got some tutorials coming on, too. Going under the same channel, you'll be able to search for me there and see how to draw comics as well. And I've got a course going up on the matter as well. So I've been asked to draw a couple of different things, and that's two of the things I've got going up on the 15th. So you guys will be able to see those videos. I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. But yeah, I put them up on YouTube. And if you put in Brad Linder, I'm right there at the top. And if you put in Brad Linder creating comics, you'll pop them all up instantly. But you can either go to my channel and, you know, find me that way, or just put it in direct, and I'll pop up. I pop up in Google as well, so you can go to the video tabs on Google and put in Brad Linder creating comics, and it'll pop up all day long, full list of them. So, yep. I really don't like the way that looks. I think I'm going to shave that down a little. It looks a little out of shape now that I look at it. I don't like it, so I'm going to shave that off. See, there's a live edit right there. There you go. Cool deal. Much better. What it was, I cut too far into that forearm. See, I cut this line too far into the forearm without shadowing that out, so it doesn't show the divot in the arm like this. and it made everything look funky. So now I got to go shade that in real quick. There we go. Cool. Now it looks like a forearm, and when I draw this in and put in the wristband, it'll all level back out. And I wanted to make this one look drastically bent, like he caught a sword with it kind of thing. Thought that would look neat. Now, I'm going to go over here. And back up in here. Like I said, I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to anyway because it's you guys. And like I said, I'm probably going to blue line this anyway and ink it up. But I might ink directly on it. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, it's coming along swimmingly. I am enjoying this. I really dig this piece. Like I said, I wanted to do this for a while, and I think we've got a good start here. And I'm sidetracked because I want to get this cleaned up right here. I don't mind that shadow being there. I just want to make sure it's clean. It looked really hairy there for a second. And I'll kind of scribble this in a little bit so we can see what's going on. We're filling in that black. But, yeah. Let's see. I think we've about got it. Because like I said, in the next session, I'll go in and do some more of the detailing. I'll sketch some more of that out on the armor and come back and do that so you guys can see it. And same thing with these, the shin guards and whatnot, so we can come in and see that. However, I do want to flesh out that shoulder before I call it a day. Right there, put in that nice dip, like it's been tinked. Let's see. Another one right there. I like that pretty good. Okay, cool. I actually think that looked pretty decent so far. Get all the shavings off of it. I think we got a good start here, folks. I hope you dig it. I'm going to go and, like I said, take a break and get back to my page work, and then I'll flesh out that hand and flesh out the armor and draw on the other stuff. And I think I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What do you want to do with this? What do we want to do? Do we want to do the battle axe, or do we, I'm going to do the battle axe. If I do it turned in, it'll be kind of tilted in this way, like it's a flag, kind of tilted in towards him to get it on the page. Or should I frame this piece and, call it a day and do a sword as the finishing piece? I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know. You can let me know in the comments or whatever when you watch it, and I'll leave it up for a day or two and figure out what's going on before I draw that in. I'll come back tomorrow or the next day and finish this hand up and this armor bit so you guys can see what's going on there. But like I said, I've been hunting for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here after I finish this tunic because it's bothering me. There we go. Cool. Yeah. I'm going to draw this line for this other side of this tunic right here. That way we know where that's at. There we go. Cool deal. So, hope you guys dig it. Like I said, here's one more swipe from bottom to top. And this is DeathDealer. Work in progress here. I got to come back and draw in these stones and the skulls at the bottom as well. But I'll be back here in about 2.5 hours for the card of the day. I'm going to be, like I said, coloring one of those things, and maybe even drawing an original one. A new original. I don't know. We'll see. But I got some stuff to get off the table in the next little bit, and grab a bite to eat for lunch with my youngster. So thank you guys for checking it out, participating on this, and I'll catch you later. Until then, you know what I habitually say to you guys. Make the place a better place than when you got it, and leave it for a better tomorrow. Talk to you later.